What's up, everybody? This is gonna be my first Remnant 2 video. I just wanted to show off a build I made, so let's jump into it. You're gonna use Hunter and Invader. On the Hunter, you're gonna use the archetype. You're gonna use the archetype Hunter with Hunter Shroud, and you're gonna use the archetype Invader with a Void Cloak. You definitely want to have Hunter slotted in as your primary, so you can get the extended Hunter's Shroud, because that's absolutely amazing for this particular build. Now, the main focus of this build is going to be speed. The follow-up focus is going to be DPS. You want to stay below 25 weight. If you can get it right there at 25, awesome. If you can't, just stay below it so you can get the fast dodge. You're going to want to use... This is the pendant that I prefer. However, you can use this one. You can use this one. Or you can use even this one. What I like to do is I pop this one on. I go into a boss fight, I pop my 2 different skills at the door, and then I swap to this one, and then after 7 seconds you get your damage. Your different rings, you want probability cord. This one right here is super underrated. What it actually does is, if you have something such as the root water going, it will sit there and it'll give you +7 to a majority of the things you're going to be doing, which is fire rate, reload speed, melee attack speed, movement speed, casting speed, evasion speed, weight class speed, and relic and consumable speed. So this bundled into one is one of the strongest rings that I've found in the game, especially for this particular build. Next up is going to be the Archer's Crest. The Black Cat ring is super helpful, and if you do end up breaking it, you get a 25% speed boost. However, another ring that is very strong is called the Momentum Driver, which is after sprinting for 2 seconds, you get a movement speed bonus of 15%, and it's harder to get staggered. So it's up to you about between the two, but the way this build is, you're fairly weak. You get one shot a lot, so I prefer the Black Cat ring. On my Relic, I'm using the salvage chart because it has a 50% faster use speed, and as long as you have some gray health, this thing's going to put you to full health most of the time. I have ranged crit chance, damage, and ranged damage. So those are the relic fragments that I have slotted into this thing. On my primary, I'm going to be using the Royal Hunting Bow with Hot Shot and Supercharger. Supercharger makes it faster and you get extra critical chance. Hot Shot, I'm still torn on and kind of feeling it out, seeing if I like it on this build. I really like it for a couple of other builds. This one, I don't know, it just feels kind of out of place. As for my secondary, I just use the SMG. I use Firestorm and Feedback. You could also use Failsafe, for example. That's another good mutator. As far as my melee, I use Spectral Blade. And if I charge my attack, it can't be interrupted. I gain 20% reduction from all enemies. And everything that I get damaged for gets converted to gray health. So if I know I'm going to take a hit, I can kind of use that to get a gray health so that I can pop this to get all of my health back. The last thing that I would like to mention is going to be the traits, specifically fitness for extra evade distance, footwork for movement speed while aiming, as well as swiftness, which is going to give you increased all movement speed. That's your 3 that can bump your movement speed. The rest of these, such as Untouchable, which comes with Invader, is awesome. I personally run ammo reserves, although that could be something else just because this particular bow has kind of limited ammo reserves. But yeah. So now that that's all out of the way, I'll do a quick range test and show you guys what that looks like. And then we'll jump into a little dungeon and show it off just in actual use on Apocalypse. You can get a feel for it, see whether it's something you like or not. So there's obviously a lot of builds out there, and probably a lot of them can beat these numbers. And feel free to take this and do whatever you want with it, like build off of it. It's just, I'm showing you what's capable, and this is a build that I found and really enjoyed, so I wanted to show it off. So There's that. Another ring I forgot to mention. You can use this one right here to you can sit there and spam hot shot over and over again. So now that all that's out of the way, let's go jump into a dungeon and just show actual use of the build. Now this is on Apocalypse. Everybody makes a big deal out of it, but play the game at whatever level you want. It's a game. Have fun. We're gonna pick it back up right here, guys, because I had to make it through this little maze here, and this doesn't really pertain to the build. So let's run around and see what types of enemies there are. I've never actually explored this dungeon before. I didn't get the red throne spawn my first playthrough. I'm assuming this is the big boss, but I mean that right there is if I can aim. You saw how much damage it does, and each one of these guys, like, you just walk up to them and one-shot them. The whole point of Invader is so if one of these guys were to actually hit you, and it's more useful in boss fights, I would say, but on Apocalypse difficulty, you never know. You might actually get caught by an enemy. But you just run through here. And I love this particular bow with all the things to make the bow charge faster. It just makes the quality of life playing with a bow so much more enjoyable. Because one of my biggest complaints with, I would say, the more meta bows maybe, is the fact that you can't really deal with ads like that right there. Like, I would have only killed maybe one of those guys at that point right there, and I would be just hating the fact that I have to sit there and wait on the bow rather than it be ready for me. And you have really high crit chance as well. I think I forgot to mention that because Hunter gives you 15%. A couple of your rings give you extra crit chance, and the superconductor, I think is what it's called, gives you 15% as well. So you have quite a lot of chances to get crit shots, but we'll leave it there. I think that's a pretty good example of what the build can do, at least without spending too much time in here. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Feel free to take it and run with it, man. Build off of it. Y'all have fun. Everybody, be safe. Have a good one. If you guys liked the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and feel free to comment down below and add anything that you would add onto the build or anything. Thank you, guys.